Awesome. So let's just start. You can tell me about yourself, where you're from, what do you do, how long you've been practicing yoga and why, that kind of stuff.
Sure. So I'm Athena. I live in the US in Arizona. I work as a nurse, and I've been doing yoga probably since like 2018. So not a super long time. I'm not a lifelong yogi or anything like that. I kind of just was going through like a really stressful time and decided to pick it up and give it a try. And I found it was really, really helpful for just making me feel like more centered and grounded and more relaxed. And so I just kind of got a little bit obsessed with it, I guess. And from there, just kept learning more and more about it. It was kind of, not too long after that, COVID hit. So I was doing a lot of yoga just at home by myself, watching videos and online things. Not really so much taking classes. And that was one of the reasons why I decided I wanted to do like a yoga teacher training, was because I wanted to learn a little bit more about it and get more of an in-depth understanding, a lot about alignment. That was really initially my main thing, was wanting to know more about the alignment and making sure I was doing it correctly. But then also it like the a lot of the philosophical and spiritual stuff was kind of lost on me initially. And so it's been really great to kind of get a little bit more of a grasp on that.
Awesome. Can I just pause 1 second? I just have a delivery guy at my door and he's about to leave.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sorry. Hi, sorry, I'm just filming something at the computer, so I just
I'm not going to believe it. I'll re-on-board
Yeah.
them now. What happened is they've actually told us you can't leave anything without signature.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so I'll just re-on-board them now.
Yeah.
At the right time.
Sorry, I just
No,
just in the middle of recording
normally
something.
I just
Yeah.
leave them. You know what I mean? I just sign them and I'm on board them again now. I'd rather drop them off. But everybody was told today you can't sign for somebody else. You've got to actually three on board. They time that just at the right time.
And I could see you. And I was like, don't go.
Yeah.
I was trying to telepathically communicate to you.
It's the signature, thanks. What you can do, I think when you get your email, it's on the way.
It would be to my partner, and he's not
Oh, well,
home.
yeah, he can actually convert it to an ATL.
Oh, okay.
Then I can leave it.
Yeah, okay, got
I
it.
can't take photographs.
No worries. All
Yeah.
good.
Just your first name. Sorry.
Dana.
Sorry.
Dana, D-A-N-A.
D-A-N-A, Dana. Thanks, Dana.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want me to bring them in?
No, it's fine. I'll grab them in a
Have
little bit.
great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. I'm sorry about that. It's just like
Yeah.
he can see me because there's a window here, so he's like knocking at my door and like wondering why I wasn't coming. Okay, that was great. Thank you for that answer. Let's drill into a little bit more around why yoga medicine specifically. Why did you choose the yoga medicine program?
I chose the yoga medicine for a couple of reasons. One, the totally online format was great for me, especially with working and trying to fit it in. The idea of doing like an in-person training where they cram everything into like a month or 8 weeks or however long it is, or going like every weekend, all day, both days, Saturday and Sunday, just wasn't going to work for me. It was also a little bit daunting to like do it in person. But one of the things that I really liked about yoga medicine was that the program seemed to be more rooted in like the anatomy and more using yoga, not so much from the like as an airy-fairy philosophical type practice, but more actually using it in a physical type sense to kind of help promote health and well-being and functionality and mobility and that sort of thing. And just coming from obviously a nursing background and working with lots of people that could use more yoga in their lives, it just that was really attractive to me. Was kind of coming at it from that angle instead of the more kind of airy-fairy side of things. And yeah, and like I said, the online format was really convenient to fit into my schedule. And it just yeah, it worked out really, really well.
Awesome. So did you know that you wanted to teach when you signed up, or did you sign up more for yourself?
I definitely signed up more for myself. I wasn't planning on teaching or doing anything like that. I just wanted really to just deepen my own understanding and kind of delve into yoga a little bit more and have an excuse to do a bit do a bit more yoga, I guess. Yeah, it was really just for me.
And how do you feel now? Do you think you'll teach?
I'm still not sure. I feel like if I wanted to, I definitely could. I have all the tools and I'm well equipped to do it. I don't know. I'm like still a little bit scared about getting out there and doing it. I do try to sort of sneak it in a little bit in my work. So not so much like a formal teaching class, but educating my patients here and there about different yoga techniques to help them with things. Kind of pointing people in that direction. But I don't know if I'll ever like formally teach a class. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Cool. What did you love about the program?
There are lots of things that I really loved. I think one of the biggest wins, I guess, for the program are like yourself and Rachel and Valerie as the instructors. I really loved you guys. I thought you were so like friendly and down to earth and accessible. And you really made us feel like, even though we were all from different backgrounds, different levels of experience, like we all felt, or I think we all felt like very what's the word, like included and supported, and nobody like felt dumb if they didn't know or they weren't the best at doing a posture or something like that. So I think, yeah, you guys were wonderful. The other things that I really loved were the weekly Zoom classes where we got to sort of interact in in real time and kind of get to know each other a little bit better. I missed those. After when they finished, it was kind of like, oh, what am I going to do now every week? So I really, really enjoyed the time that we kind of got to interact with the other students and do our practice teaching and kind of get to know each other. I really loved those things.
Awesome. And thank you for your kind words. Um, did you feel like there was a turning point in the program for you where it kind of went from maybe being overwhelming or like, why did I sign up for this, to feeling like more confident or, excited, or sort of like, yeah, I'm so glad I signed up?
Definitely. At the beginning, I was feeling pretty comfortable with all of the anatomy stuff because it was kind of just a refresher for me. I'd learned a lot of that prior. But then when we started doing the actual sequencing, that was the point where I was like, oh gosh, like feeling a little bit overwhelmed and not sure, and just thinking, how am I ever going to be able to like put together any kind of coherent sequence or in the yoga class. So that was initially really daunting. And I know you guys kept saying like, stick with it. Don't worry. By the time you get to the end, like it's all going to make sense. You're going to be amazed at what you can do. And that is true. By the time we got to the end, even though the exams were super nerve-wracking, and I spent a lot of time, writing a sequence and scratching it out and editing it and putting it back together. But in the end, it was like, wow, like I can do this. Like I actually I know what I'm doing and I can do this and I can put together something that's really, that's, decent. Maybe it's not great and amazing, but I can definitely put together something that's decent. So I think it was more towards the end, once we'd gotten a bit more practice teaching under our belts, and we're really kind of doing that every week, in the 2-hour sessions. And that was kind of the point where I was like, okay, this is all coming together. This is making sense. I can do this.
Awesome. I love that. What impact has the training had in your life or on you as a person or in your work as a nurse?
I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed since finishing the training, just in my own like personal practice, is but before, a lot of the like the pranayama stuff, or some of the more like energetic or philosophical components of the practice would kind of just go over my head, or I would just, be like, oh, okay, whatever, and let's get back to the physical, postures. And I wasn't really paying attention as much to those things. But since the training, I have a lot more appreciation for those things, and can actually, like, if I'm doing a practice, even if it's just an online, with another instructor, those things just hit home a little bit more. They register with me a little bit more. I understand what they're actually talking about. It makes sense, which is really nice. Whereas before it was just kind of like, whatever. But now it's definitely, I'm incorporating those things more, especially a lot of the pranayama breathing techniques. And like I said before, like passing that on with some of my patients at work. I work in a surgical department, so I have a lot of patients who are dealing with pain, or they're very anxious and stressed out, and just being able to sort of be like, hey, let's take some deep breaths, and let's do this box breathing, or let's do these things with me, and let's focus on this, or whatever it might be, just to kind of help them to calm down. Or if they're coming in with mobility problems like hip issues, or shoulder things, I can be like, hey, well, maybe as part of your rehab you might want to try doing these yoga stretches or these things. So I kind of throw it in a little bit here and there in that way.
That's amazing. I love that. You are teaching. I call that teaching. How did you find the online learning experience?
I thought yoga medicine did a really, really good job. I feel like this is probably definitely not something that's easy to teach online. I thought the lecture content was really well done. I actually really liked that we got to see previous recordings of previous students and previous trainings, and kind of how it looked in real time. So that was nice. I thought that the manual was really well done, really well laid out with all of the information. It was very comprehensive, but still easy to understand and very useful. Like I said, the weekly Zoom meetings were great. I think those were really helpful, especially for accountability, and kind of, I like that you could go week by week. And even if you weren't keeping up with previous weeks, if you were still trying to catch up, you still had that accountability to kind of try to stay on pace and not get too far behind. But you also couldn't get too far ahead of everybody else either. And the only thing that I think sometimes I was like, oh, it would have been nice, is if we had more live, like if some of the lectures had been live, maybe instead of all recorded, just because the interaction would have been nice. But that was really the only thing that, otherwise I thought it was very well done in terms of the way the lectures were presented and the material, and being able to review things as many times as we needed to. And also fitting in the practices every week that went along with the lectures and kind of tied everything nicely together. I thought it was really, really well done. I had previously signed up for a different online training, and I think I got a couple of weeks into it and just stopped because it was self-paced. There weren't online lectures. It was kind of just teach yourself as you go. The manual didn't even have pictures of the postures and the alignment in there. And I was like, well, how am I supposed to know what I'm doing is even correct? If it was just nothing in comparison to yoga medicine. Like, yoga medicine was so much better in every way.
Awesome. Thank you. Last question. What would you say to someone thinking about doing this program?
I would highly, highly recommend it. I think it's an excellent experience. It's, like I said, it's very well laid out. It's very easy to do and to fit into your lifestyle. And I feel like you, as instructors, you guys are there every step of the way to support us, the students, however they need. At no point, even though we're all across the world, and not in the same place, at no point did I ever feel like I was alone in doing this, that I couldn't reach out. I couldn't, find another student to practice with if I wanted to. If I had any questions, they were always answered. It was, I think anyone that's considering it, I think it's a really, really excellent program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was
You're welcome.
great. Let me just stop the recording.